We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council regular meeting for tonight, which is Monday, March the 5th. Our invocation will be done by Pastor Gene Fields of the Heritage Baptist Church. And after that, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led by the Mayor Pro Tem. Please stand for the invocation.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of this day. Father, it's been a good day, regardless of the weather. It's been a good day because we got to experience you today. Father, we got to see your mighty hand, and Father, we also know that you intervened on our behalf that we'll never know. Father, I ask blessings on our mayor and the city council. Father, grant them the wisdom, Father, to see our community with your heart and with your eyes. Father, I thank you that they have a passion for our community. Father, I just thank you that as we're here tonight, you're protecting and watching over their families as well as mine. Father, I just thank you personally for the blessing it is to have grown up in this community. And Father, may we all in this room, Father, just continue to serve this community. And Father, to strive to bring people together and not just bring them closer to each other, but closer to you. Father, we thank you for your son, Jesus. In his name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem Richard Siegel, for leading us in the pledge, and Pastor Gene Fields for the invocation. We appreciate that. Okay, we'll move on to announcements and presentations. And in the way of announcements, we'll just go over the protocol for the meeting. We do not have any presentations tonight, so we'll just go over how the meeting is going to be run, and then hopefully won't have any questions about that, but if you do, we're certainly welcome you to ask. I'd like to welcome you again to the City of Douglasville City Council regular voting meeting. This is a City Council regular meeting of agenda items where official action will be taken tonight. We have discussed these items at our work session this past Thursday. If the business you're here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item comments from citizens and delegates section to discuss your business. The few protocol issues that I have is that I ask that you would keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make their decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be of a personal attack against any individual or group of individuals. You'll receive a warning from the chair if you deviate from this requirement, and a second warning or deviation will result in a request for you to leave the chambers and the premises for the evening. Only one person will speak at a time. Please do not applaud or react to speakers from the audience. We ask that you will not cheer or carry on conversations with others in the audience or be disruptive in the meeting. I'll remind you that we'll only accept public comments on zoning matters. If you have a pager or a cell phone, iPad, any of those electronic devices, we'll ask that you would please put them in silent mode or turn those items off so they will not be disruptive. The protocol for the meeting for the agenda items will be as the following. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item. Then the person representing the agenda item or the applicant will make his or her presentation, and that will be your opportunity to present the information. Then myself and council members will possibly ask questions. After that, the committee chair will ask for comments or statements from those in the audience. You'll have a maximum of 30 minutes, 5 minutes per person, 30 minutes in favor, 30 minutes in opposition. When you come to the podium, if you'd like to speak, there should have been a card that you could fill out, and please fill that card out and give it to the city clerk. But please give us your name and address for the record when you come forward. And that is all that we have for tonight in the way of announcements and presentations. And now I will go to agenda item 5, which is the minutes of the legislative work session. an executive session of February 15th, 2018, and the regular meeting of February 19th, 2018. I open the floor for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you so much. There is a motion. Is there a second? Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve the minutes. Are there any corrections does anyone sees for the minutes from council? Okay, not seeing any. It's been properly moved and second. Any other further discussion? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. The agenda, the legislative work session and executive session of February 15th, 2018 and February 19th, 2018 is approved. So now we'll move on to the consent agenda. Open the floor to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I have a motion. Is there a second to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Are any corrections, questions, or comments from council members? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. The consent agenda is approved. So now we'll move on to item number 7, and that is Public Safety Committee, Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Mayor. I have a couple of items. Item A 20-18-9, request for the change in agent outlet manager for the alcoholic beverage license for the retail package sale of wine and malt beverages at the following establishment. License, Aldi's INC, DBA, Aldi's number 1, location 2990 Chapel Hill Road. Current agent outlet manager Casey O'Brien, pros outlet manager Karen Argo. The required fees has been paid into the finance department. Applicant, hello. Already down, state your name and
Karen Argo, I'm the store manager at Aldi number 11 at 2990 Chapel Hill Road in Douglasville.
Okay, do you have any questions for us?
No, sir.
Okay, well, I'm gonna approve 20-18-9.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 20-18-9. Any further discussion as it relates to this item? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. The ayes have it. Item 20-18-19 is approved.
Thank you. Second item, 20-18-10, request for a permit for outdoor pouring of alcoholic beverages for a special event at the following establishment. Licensing Luck of the Irish, LLC, DBA Irish Bread Pub Restaurant. Location, 6682 East Broad Street, O'Neill Plaza. Event, St. Patrick's Day Community Festival. Date and time of the event is March 16, 2018 from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. March the 17th, 2018 from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Agent Outlet Manager Billy Jean Lachelle Marshall. The required fees have been paid into the City Finance Department. Michelle and I met on Friday, I guess about 4:30, and we walked the perimeter. And everything looked real good, Chief and Council. So in that case, I'm going to approve 20-18-10 with a special stipulations that the applicant will hire 3 certified police officers for security at that event. Okay? We got it? Okay.
Thank you so much. Do you make a motion to approve with a special stipulation of 3 police officers? There's a motion to approve item 20-18-10 with the.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 20-18-10 with the special stipulation of 3 police officers for this event. Is there any additional conversation, comments about that? Any further discussion? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. Item 20-18-10 is approved with the special stipulation of 3 police officers for the event.
Also, Ms. Michelle, we have, Madam Mayor, we have some LED lights in the fountain, and hopefully we can Greg Roberts with our maintenance department will click the button and the LED green lights come on
It'll
for
be
you.
green for St. Patrick's Day? Okay.
Green
very
for the,
That'll be awesome. Thank you so
Okay.
much, y'all.
suggestion.
thank you. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Community and Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have a few items. Item 21-18-4 is to appoint Ted Martin to the Retail 2 Mall Post of the City of Douglasville's Convention and Visitors Bureau Advisory Board for a 2-year term extending through December 31st, 2018, and appoint Rupal Hira to the Hotel 3 post on the City of Douglasville's Convention and Visitor Bureau Advisory Board for a 2-year term extending through December 31st, 2019. I put forth item 21-18-4 forward in the form of a motion for approval.
Second.
Thank you. We have, did you get Miss Acker? Thank you. So we have, it's been properly moved and second to approve item 21-18-4 with the appointment of Mr. Ted Martin for the retail post and Ms. Rupal Hira for the hotel post for the CVB to expire the hotel one in 2019 and the mall retail in 2018. It's been properly moved and second to approve this item. Any further discussion? Thank you. All those in favor of approving this item with those two members, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 21-18-4 is approved.
Next item is 21-18-5, which is to receive the mayor's nominations and consider ratification for 1 or 2 individuals to serve on the City of Douglasville Historic Preservation Commission for 3-year terms expiring on January 31st, 2021.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. And my 2 appointments would be Mr. Paul Wren to be reappointed to the Historic Preservation Commission to complete a new term, a 3-year term extending through January 31st, 2021, and Ms. LaToya Hamilton to fill the other seat. So those are my nominations, Mr. Phil Wren and Ms. LaToya Hamilton.
Okay, then I'll read it again with their names. And that is to item 21-18-5 to ratify the mayor's nominations of Ms. LaToya Hamilton and Mr. Phil Wren to serve on the City of Douglasville Historic Preservation Commission for 3-year terms expiring on January 31st, 2021. I put that forward in the form of a motion to approve.
Second. Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 21-18-5 with Mr. Phil Wren and Ms. LaToya Hamilton to fulfill those terms for the Historic Preservation Commission. Is there any other, further discussion as it relates to this item from council members? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving item 21-18-5, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Thank you. The ayes have it. Item 21-18-5 is approved with Mr. Phil Wren and Ms. LaToya Hamilton.
I have one more item, 21-18-6, to authorize the mayor to sign a change order to the city's professional services agreement of August 24th, 2017, with Jacobs Engineering Group Incorporated to increase the scope of work to include staff augmentation to the Community Development Department for an additional 6 months. I put forth item 21-18-6 forward in the form of a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Item 21-18-6 has been properly moved. Is there a second? Thank you. It's been moved and second to approve item 21-18-6. Any further discussion from council members? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 21-18-6 is approved.
That's all we have under the Community and Economic Development Committee tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We'll move on to Planning and Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have several
Welcome.
items tonight under Planning and Development. We'll start with item 22-18-24. We'll hold a public hearing and consider a request for a variance to reduce the required curb and gutter and sidewalk on both sides of Camp Street, a distance of approximately 30 feet. In section 2.06.05B and F of Appendix B, Development Code Ordinance, for a variance of 30 feet each side for a remaining requirement of 0 feet adjacent to the south boundary line of a lot of 3.166 acres at 8159 Camp Street in Land Lot 20, District 1, Section 5, Parcel 158. Application signed by Ms. Ruby Riley. I see that Ms. Riley is here. Ms. Riley, if you would come forward and state your name and address for the record for us, please, ma'am, we'll get on with our business.
Ruby Riley, 4904 Grizzly Court, Douglasville, Georgia.
Thank you very much, Ms. Riley. I know that we held a public hearing on Thursday evening. You came and made your presentation. I'd just like to ask, as a part of the public hearing, is there any additional comment or any other information you'd like to provide on behalf of your application?
No, I don't have any additional information.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would speak that was not here on Thursday night during this public hearing in support of this application for a variance? Is there any opposition to this? Anyone that would like to speak in opposition to the granting of this variance? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Just wanted to make a comment to make sure that we understood. It appears that we are foregoing the requirement of approximately 30 feet of sidewalk and curb and gutter because that is a part of our city ordinance that it is required, but I understand there is no other sidewalk on Camp Street on either side and no curb and gutter. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So you're just asking that you be able to not have to put it in for that 30 feet.
Correct.
And you are at the end of Camp Street where your development will be for your residents, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Having said that, then I'll place item 22-18-24 in the form of a motion for approval.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 22-18-24. Is there any other further discussion as it relates to this item? Council members? Thank you. Not seeing any. All of those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. It's been approved. Item 22-18-24 is approved.
Thank you, Ms. Riley.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you. Next item, 22-18-25, is consider a request for revised plat approval for Lot 11 Presley Place for the purpose of revising building setbacks for 2.57 acres at 5318 Presley Place, Land Lot 79, District 1, Section 5, Parcel 55. Application by Dr. Shazib Kawaja. Is there someone here to represent this request?
Yes, Tim McGuckin, 915 Dixie Street, Carroll, Georgia. I'm the land surveyor, engineer.
Okay, so you're here on his behalf tonight?
Yes, he had some meetings tonight. He could not make it. So.
I understand. Thank you for being here, sir. Is there any question that anyone would have, council or Madam Mayor, of this applicant for this revision? Is there anyone here in the audience that would speak or would like to speak, make any comments concerning it? We did have the plat, and we did show that basically it was a sideline reduction, I believe, that was needed. Is that correct? As far as
correct.
It will be sitting, I understand, facing Presley Mill Road, so this will be a sideline along Presley Place. Okay, seeing no other information, no other comment, I make a motion to approve item 22-18-25.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 22-18-25. Is there any further discussion as relates to this item? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving item 22-18-25, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 22-18-25 is approved.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you coming. Next item, 22-18-26, consider a request for approval of a development plan for retail shops. Plans dated February 5th, 2018 at 7100 Douglas Boulevard, located in Land Lot 160, District 2, Section 5, Parcel 84. Application by Brad Culpepper, Culpepper Development. I see Mr. Fowler is approaching.
Good evening, everyone. Joe Fowler, Post Office Box 49, Douglasville, here on behalf of Mr. Culpepper, both Richard and Brad, the developers of this parcel. Nothing else to add, and we request approval of the development plan. They're ready to go forward and demo the building and get started.
Thank you, Mr. Fowler.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone else, any comment or question for Mr. Fowler concerning this application? Anyone in public comment that would like to be made? Just wanted to say, Mr. Fowler, I have some personal interest in the past in this piece of property. Being that at one time our family, my father-in-law owned it and operated a business there for many years. But my understanding is that the retail shops and the plans have already been reviewed and approved by Mr. Mettler and his department, about 5,000 square feet rather than the 9,000 that's there now, correct?
Significantly smaller, yes.
Yes, sir. Okay. No other comment?
Mr. Chairman, this is a mattress?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, it will be. All right, I'll make a motion to approve item 22-18-26.
Thank you. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 22-18-26. Any further discussion? Thank you. Not seeing any. All of those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 22-18-26 is approved. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Fowler.
Mr. Fowler.
It hasn't come up
We
yet.
were not given the opportunity to vote on that item, Ms. Acker. There we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, last item, item 22-18-27, hold a public hearing and consider a request for a variance to increase the allowed freestanding sign height of 12 feet in subsection 3.73.02A5 of the zoning ordinance for a variance of 6 feet for a remaining allowed sign height of 18 feet on the east side of a lot of 7.402 acres in land lot 679, District 18, Section 20, Parcel 2, application by Image Manufacturing Group, LLC. I've received, or our city has received a letter today requesting that this be tabled and that it not be heard tonight. So I'm going to make a motion on item 22-18-27 to table this request until the meetings of the 15th and 19th of March.
Second.
Thank you so much. It's properly moved and second to table item 22-18-27 to the work session of March 15th and voting meeting of March 19th. Any other further discussion? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of tabling item 22-18-27 to the meetings of March 15th and 19th, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it for tabling. So item 22-18-27 is tabled to the meetings of March 15th and 19th.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that we have tonight under Planning and Development Committee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Parks and Recreation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item tonight, item 23-18-2, to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with AECom Technical Services, Inc. for architectural and engineering services for the new Hunter Park maintenance building and site development for the Parks and Recreation Department. I'd like to put this in the form of a motion to approve item 23-18-2.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 23-18-2. Any further discussion from council members? Thank you. Not seeing any. All of those in favor of approving item 23-18-2, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 23-18-2 is approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all the business we have tonight under Parks and Rec.
Thank you, Councilman Watts. We'll move on to item 11, the agenda item, which is Finance Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have two items tonight under Finance. First item is item 24-18-4, adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 2017-2018 general fund budget. We did on Thursday night have a discussion in our committee meetings, and then also this was brought forward in our work session at 6 o'clock. And any questions I believe that there were for Ms. Callen were asked. If there are any others, we'll ask her to come forward if there are any other questions concerning that. Ms. Callen, would you please come forward? And I think we have some questions that would like to be discussed prior to our taking action.
I just want to make sure that everything that we discussed on Thursday is included in here, because we don't have that in our attachment. The only thing in our attachment is one thing that wasn't included in the document on Thursday. So I would ask, are there any changes between what we're actually voting on now versus what we saw on Thursday.
Yes, sir. I talked to the Finance Committee Chair earlier today, and I think we also talked about this Thursday night in committee to address the issues of the travel expense for Councilman Davis. And as it was reported, he was over budget. He is not over budget currently in his travel expense line items. If he were to take this trip to GMA, which he has not taken yet, he would have been over budget. So that's why we are doing this budget amendment. So, and the budget amendment that is added, that we discuss in the committee is as the Madam Mayor, Councilman Adams, and Terry Miller agreed to split any potential overage 3 ways. And so I've added that addendum to, and I think the clerk generated the agenda, so it should be showing up on your laptops. And the net effect would be 0. We're moving $764 each to Councilman Davis from Mayor, Councilman Miller, and Councilman Adams.
One other question, just for clarity. This is actually the first fiscal year that all the training budgets have been split out by elected official. We used to have it just all in one. But if we were to look at all of them combined, and even assuming that everybody took the trip to Savannah for the GMA conference, we would still be looking at about 33% under budget in total for all of us. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
No other
Thank
questions?
you, Mr. Siegel, and that's the reason that I felt as though it were proper that rather than do a revisit to the individual budget, since we as a group will still be under budget in that line item, we will allow any council person that may be over budget then to re-examine for the coming year how they may want to spend those funds, and hopefully we will not approach this position again. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, I was going to make a statement as well, in that since Councilman Davis is the Education and Training Chair, he is always on the vanguard and forefront of taking all of the trainings that are offered to try to boost up his resume and be fully educated on what this council may need to move forward. And so, again, as Mayor Pro Tem pointed out, this is the first time that we've allocated for each council member rather than having from the general pot. So it'll help us to be able to budget for next year. We're not over budget. It's just individually because Councilman Davis decided to go to a conference that we had not attended before. We just didn't have those monies put aside for individual council members. So he's well within the budget for training overall for elected officials. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, thank you. Any other question or comment? Seeing none, I make a motion to approve item 24-18-4.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 24-18-4. Any further discussion more than we've already had? Thank you. Not seeing any. All of those in favor of approving item 24-18-4, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Item 24-18-4 is approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The last item under finance tonight, item 24-18-5. Authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Bellafuel, Zur, and Associates Incorporated for AccessMyGov-Business License Computer Software to allow businesses to process business license applications and renewals online and to make license fee payments online. I make a motion to approve item 24-18-5.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 24-18-5. Is there any further discussion as relates to this item? The only comment I would make, Mr. Chairman, is that it was cleared up in committee and probably in our work session that I asked a question about if the license were up to date, and they do have. Our department has the ability to check with the Secretary of State's office to see if those certifications, cosmetology, any of those professional certifications are up to date, so that persons in the city will be able to do their licenses online as well. So we do have the capability to cross-train and make sure that everything is up to date when they put in to do their license online rather than coming in and showing that documentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments as it relates to this item? Thank you. All of those in favor, it's been properly moved and second to approve item 24-18-5. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 24-18-5 is approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's
You're
all we have
welcome.
tonight under finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll move on to Information and Technology Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Terry Miller.
No business at this time under Information and Technology, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Councilman Miller T. Maintenance and Sanitation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight.
Thank you so much, Councilman Miller M. No more puppies out there. I know, they're so cute. Okay, we'll move on to Agenda Item 14, Transportation Committee. That is chaired by Dr. LaShawn Burdanley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have two items. Item 27-18-6, authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Whitley Engineering Incorporated for preliminary design work on lighting and banners to TE Project PI number 0009035 for the addition of curb and gutter to portions of Georgia Highway 92. Madam Mayor, I would like to make the motion that we approve item 27-18-6, but also there are owners, property owners, both are either residents or business owners who I would like to have the opportunity to speak that were not here on Thursday. But before they speak, I would just like to say I'm asking that this item be approved for several reasons. One is the process began initially to have the sidewalks, which included the curb and the gutter. And then because of cost, the mayor and council, some voted that the curb and gutter be taken out. Also, I wanted to say that after that the curb and gutter had been taken out, I received phone calls in regards to why. So Councilman Davis and I, we had a meeting with the planning staff person at Jesse Davis Park. We had a very good attendance at that meeting. The residents or the owners actually expressed their concerns in regards to some discrepancies as it relates to the curb and gutter, as far as information given from contractors that were on the ground. And also, Mayor and Council, I'd like for this item to be approved because the Highway 92 bypass project stops at Brown Street. So when I think about Dallas Highway, it is the corridor into our downtown. Of course, there may be in the future a developer that may pick up the area and say, I want to develop this. But when I think about homeowners that live and pay taxes today, that I'd like to move on with the engineering process so that we can see what is needs to be done. I would rather, I mentioned to one of the residents when I was speaking to them, is when we do curb and gutter, you know, when I look at that and it's not done correctly moving forward, is we just have to make sure that we do our due diligence. And I think that our residents, the owners of these properties, at least we owe them the process of doing the engineering process. So, Madam Mayor, I would like for if there are any owners that are in the building at this time, if they would wish to speak, that they would be allowed to do so.
I've opened the floor. We didn't have a
She's
second.
going to have a second, yes.
You have to repeat what you just
I
said.
second.
Okay, so it's been properly moved in second to approve item 27-18-6, and I will allow for public comment on this item, even though it's not a public hearing, but we'll acquiesce and allow community partners and to come forward and give comments. And as you come, please give us your name and address for the record. You're welcome.
Homer Danley, and I own property at 8113 Dallas Highway and 8060 Dallas Highway.
Earl White, own property at 8127 Highway 92.
Thank you so much.
And I think LaShawn kind of said what I wanted to say was that this is going to be the new entrance to the north side of Douglasville. And I wanted to actually get with Patrice and talk about if there's any possible grant money or whatever. A few years ago, we had a development on the north side where we actually went in and made improvements to homes and so forth and so on. And if we could get some money for that, I think that that corridor needs to be very attractive. Even if we did a landscaping project for the yards, and the curbing and guttering would be very important to this development. And if we get some type of matching project, I know me as an owner, we would be willing to put in money, but when you have the curbing and guttering, one of the things we need right away is to do the parking lot. So if the curbing and the guttering is there, you can just pave right up to it and really give a nice presentation to the north side. And also, like you said, it's one of the streets that you actually have a lot of homeowners living on. And when you don't have curbing and guttering, they have that constant washing coming, it's a lot of hilly areas in there. So I think it's very important that that be included. In fact, we thought it already had been approved, so. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Danley. Mr. White?
I'd just like to reiterate that last time I was here, I did mention that I thought the curbs and the sidewalks look nice, and they do, but I just think that they still could use some enhancement, a way to kind of control the way the water does wash through our lots and yards. So I think it would be great if we could get some improvement in that process. It would make a big difference in the way they are done right now. But I appreciate the what's been done, but I just know that more could be done, and it would be great if it was.
Thank you so much, Mr. White and Mr. Danley. Any other comments from citizens? We have another citizen coming forward. Of course, we're looking at the entire area, since we do have a line item, budgeted line item for the study for New Horizons, as well as that wonderful federal highway that's coming through, the $110 million project. So let's see what it's going to look like. Please give us your name and address for the record. And
my name is Jovita Hutchings. I'm a property owner at 8027 Dallas Highway. And I agree with Mr. White and Mr. Danley. What we do have is nice, but we could have better. And I think, along with it, being the future connection to the new highway, we want our corridor down there to be just as nice as others are.
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Please give us your name and address for the record. Good evening.
I live on Dallas Highway, 8155 Dallas Highway.
Yes, ma'am.
And the sidewalk ends right there in front of my
What's
house.
your name? Can I have your name, too? I'm writing down.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Benny Adams.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And it is in there. Is it going to be fixed? And the, the barrier
Yes,
to
ma'am.
keep dirt and stuff from coming over on my property is still there.
Okay.
So do we know anything about when that'll be fixed?
We're discussing it now.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, and we appreciate your time. Thank you, Ms. Adams. Any other comments from citizens? Okay, not hearing any other. We do have a motion on the floor. We have a motion. It's been a motion to approve and a second to approve item 27-18-6. Any further discussion from council members? Yes, Councilman Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
I think I appreciate Councilwoman Burdanley's the things that she said. I know that the state has not deeded this or turned it over to the city yet, and I know that there's going to be something done there, but I just feel like it's premature to go forward with anything until we, as a city, have that piece of property. And, and if it's my understanding, there were several businesses along that same stretch that did not want the curb and gutter in front of their business, unless I misunderstood that the other night. But anyway, I guess I'm, a little concerned about spending money that we don't, we're going to eventually spend, plus there's going to be potential development along there that will have to meet city ordinances and put in curb and gutter, potentially.
Yes,
so
sir.
Anyway, that's all I had.
Thank you, Coach Watts, Councilman Watts. Any other comments, any further discussion from council members?
Question I had was, what was the time frame for when this is going to be turned over to the city, when the state is releasing the street?
Ms. Wright if you don't mind coming up, Michelle Wright from the city, but from my understanding, it's after the road is completed. So we will not have ownership. It's a state highway, of course, and after
2020.
2020.
We're looking at, and it looks like it might be a little bit behind, but we were looking at December 2020, but it's possibly being pushed into 21.
2020, so that's 3 years from now. We could be waiting that long. Okay, thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir, Councilman Miller.
So my understanding is we're going to be spending money now to do a study that may not even be applicable by the time this road is finished?
Well, if we do the preliminary design work, we'll have the study on the shelf. So once the state highway is turned over to the city, then it will be our option to go forward with curb and gutter or whatever the recommendation is at the time. So I think right now we're just the motion is to get a preliminary design work for lighting and banner for this project. Is that correct, or am I misstating it, City Manager?
It's actually to look at the design work and give you a cost estimate of installing curb and gutter. So if you choose to move forward, you'll have engineered drawings and cost estimates to make your final decision. So this would be step one toward installation, or having a decision made based on cost. Right now, you have one set of costs that are preliminary, but it's not based on any current designs that have been done by an engineer.
But that decision isn't going to be for another 3 years or so?
Not necessarily. You can do the work now. It doesn't say that you can. I think the point was being made that at some point, that rather than Highway 92 at that location be a state road, it would be turned over to the city as a city road. But it doesn't preclude you from doing the work now if you chose to move forward.
Okay. Any other comments? Yes,
I do
yes,
have
sir,
one,
Councilman
Madam Mayor. I just want to reiterate a question or a comment I made on Thursday night. I guess my angst in this situation, first of all, to all of those that have come and made comment, I'm not in any way against installing curb and gutter. My concern is that the cost study that would be done would be based upon what is required today as a part of a state highway system. More than likely, we would not be doing the work. Well, I would hope, as a responsible representative of our city, that I would not be approving to do the work, knowing that when it becomes a city street within 2 to 3 years, then all of those requirements are different, because our development requirements are not the same on a city street as they are on a state highway. So my concern about it is that we're spending money to do a cost estimate on something that will not be applicable when it becomes a city street, because our cost estimate today, if we approve to do this, will be based upon what it is now. And if I'm wrong, I'd like to be corrected there. If not, that's the assumption I'm making, because it will not be a state highway. When they turn it over to us any longer, it will become a city street.
We can do more with it at that point than we can as a state highway.
Well, we have development standards that must be approved, must be carried out as a city street, whereas now we have no control over it as a state highway.
Let me ask this.
That's all I had, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Councilman Miller.
Are we not, let's just throw this out there, can we do the curb and gutter work prior to the state turning that highway over to us?
Yes.
So we may not even have to wait the 3 years. We could do it according to our standards, perhaps.
Yes.
If I'm understanding that correctly.
And from my understanding, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Dr. Berdanley, but you're saying whether it's a city street or a state highway, it doesn't preclude the fact that the street needs curb and gutters.
Correct.
So whether the standards are more stringent from the state or less stringent from the city, the recommendation is to have curb and gutter on the streets. Is that correct?
That is correct. Also, I'd like to, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Also, I wanted to clarify to Councilman Watts that, yes, on Thursday, it was stated that there were owners who did not want curb and gutter. However, that information was not correct. I verified with owners, and they do want curb and gutter, and they have spoken tonight. And also, I want to say that to Councilman Mark Adams, he and I agree and disagree. Of course, we have things that we agree and disagree. We just have different ways of doing that. But he has very valid reasons, and so do I. However, I just want to say, and I apologize, I can't remember the name of the street between Ms. Pearl's house and the Polk's house. Did you have a chance to ride through there, Councilman? Okay. Yeah, and I'm sorry, what's the name of the street? Lincoln Street. And Lincoln Street already, where the sidewalks are, where cars are coming and stopping right there on Dallas Highway, is already hitting the side of that. And there's a hole right next to Ms. Polk's home residence that's already developing. So I hear that the road, the Highway 92 project, tentative date was 2020. The tentative date now is 2021. I have lived in the area for over 40 years. It has taken 42 years, if not more, for the bypass to come. And I just would like for the mayor and council to consider completing the engineering process to look at it. So whether we do it now or later, the engineering process needs to be done. And I think for the residents, we owe that to the owners, not because some of them are business owners. We owe them that. I mentioned earlier to Councilman Adams, and he agreed with me, that I would rather have seen that the sidewalks not go in yet and do it correctly with curb and gutter, and we both agreed on that. So that is why I'm asking for the preliminary engineering to proceed.
Thank you so much. Any other comments from council members?
Just my final,
Yes, sir,
my
Mr.
final position. This is rather confusing, and I don't. My position isn't to neglect the folks that are there, and I hate that this has gotten real personal on a Monday voting day. But I think it's premature under the circumstances. So while I don't want to offend anybody, because I think there's a need, my understanding from the procedure is that it's premature, and that's just my position.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilman Miller M. I know Councilman Davis recused himself because he has property and is a vested interest. And for clarity, Councilman Watts, the two businesses were the barber shop and Social 92, and those two business owners did speak in favor of curb and gutter, and that's Mr. Danley with the barber shop and Mr. White with Social 92. So we cleared up that information. Okay, any other comments from council members?
Right, Madam Mayor, I would like to ask, I mean, you live in the area, I'd like to ask if you have any comments in regards to this.
I'd like to do what the community wants to do, and that's just basically it. I want all the streets in the city of Douglasville to look nice, and including if we can have sidewalks everywhere, curb and gutter everywhere, that would be my desire, because I want people to walk and be healthier, and I want things to look really nice. That's one of my initiatives, is beautification. So
thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Okay, not hearing any other comments. All of those in favor, we're going to have a hold up our hands for item to approve. Item has been properly moved and second to approve item 27-18-6. If you're in favor of approving this motion, please raise your hand. Thank you. Do you have it, Madam Clerk? Have those? Thank you so much. All of those in favor of denying, so those are the yays. The nays, please raise your hand. Oh my goodness, it's a tie. It's up to me. So I will vote in approving item 27-18-6 to break the tie. Okay, so item 27-18-6 is approved.
Thank you. And the second item, 27-18-7, authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Brian Cleveland and Associates for additional work on the Lighting and Banners 2 TE project, PI number 0009035, for preliminary engineering management and construction management for the addition of curb and gutter to portions of Georgia Highway 92. I make a motion that we approve item 27-18-7.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 27-18-7. Is there any further discussion from council members? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving item 27-18-7, please raise your hand. Thank you. Those opposed, raise your hand as well. It's a tie, so I will vote, and I voted approving item 27-18-7. I don't have a voting block because I'm not supposed to vote normally. But you have the hand raised. Yes, ma'am. So item 27-18-7 is approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have no other items under transportation.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. We'll move on to Personnel and Organization Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no items tonight.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem. Ordinance and Intergovernmental Committee, Councilmember Michael Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item tonight, that is 29-18-3. This is to appoint an individual to the Douglasville, Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority Board of Directors for a 5-year term commencing April 3rd, 2018 and expiring April 2nd, 2023.
Thank you. Our city manager is passing out the ballots, and each person has, there are 4 candidates. So we ask that you would vote on your candidate and give it back to the city manager, and of course she will name the persons and how many votes they have, and the majority person will become the appointee to the Water and Sewer Authority.
I have one vote from Councilman Samuel Davis for Ms. Ray Ann Alves. I have a vote for Ms. Carrie Rigdon from Councilman Terry Miller. Councilman Mike Miller has voted for Carrie Rigdon. Councilman Chris Watts has voted for Carrie Rigdon. Councilman Mark Adams has voted for Ms. Carrie Rigdon. Mayor Rochelle Robinson has voted for Ms. Carrie Rigdon. Mayor Pro Tem Richard Siegel has voted for Ms. Ray Ann Alves. Councilwoman LaShawn Burdanley has voted for Ms. Ray Ann Alves. There are 5 votes for Carrie Rigdon and 3 votes for Ray Ann Alves.
Thank you so much. City Manager.
Therefore, I rephrase item 29-18-3 to appoint Carrie Rigdon to the Douglasville, Douglas County Water Sewer and Water and Sewer Authority Board of Directors for the 5-year term commencing April 3rd, 2018 and expiring April 2nd, 2023. I place this in form of a motion for approval.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 29-18-3 with Carrie Rigdon as the appointee to the Water and Sewer Authority Board of Directors, filling a 5-year term that starts April 3rd, 2018 through April 2nd, 2023. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. This item is approved. Our appointee is Carrie Rigdon. So item 29-18-3 is approved.
Madam Mayor, that's all we have under ordinances and intergovernmental committee tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Counselor. We'll move on to item 17, Education and Training Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No items at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir. Communications Committee. That's also chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No items at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We'll move on to other business from council members, and I'll start out by just saying that I know we received an email from Mr. Travis Landrum, the Parks and Recs Director, and it showed some of our fields where someone had gone in and vandalized and drove around. And so he has put some measures in place as far as changing locks to the fields, and I know Councilman Watts, he talked to you as well, in addition to some more cameras, and he'll be requesting some other security measures at the budget time. But he did say that, very disappointed to hear, but of course we have to have some fields that are accessible for the community to have at all times. Tax dollars, we want someone to be able to go in and throw a ball with their son or daughter and play baseball. But some of the other fields at Jesse Davis Park, football fields, and some of the fields at Hunter have to now be secured so that we won't have any vandalism on those fields. So that's just an update from the email that he sent to us.
Madam Mayor,
Sir.
the one thing I wasn't clear on is what time, like approximately, was this done in the middle of the night or during park hours, or when did this vandalism occur?
I don't know, Chief, do you know? Yes, sir. So we're not certain. I do believe it was after hours, though. Oh, someone that.
Madam Mayor,
Oh, you didn't get the email. I'm sorry. You all didn't get the email? Oh, well, I will update you on the email that Coach Watts and I received as the Parks and Recreation Chair. And I apologize, I thought you all were on the Parks and Recreation Director, Travis Landrum, sent us an email, and I think it was last Wednesday, right before, or Thursday before council meeting, that our field, one on Jesse Davis, had someone went on the field and drove their car through the field, and they kind of had donuts on the field, as well as, and that donut term is because of the way the the pattern, and as well as in Hunter Park. Someone vandalized the field as well, and drove through the fields. And so we've been accustomed to the honor system, so we have to put some locks on Webb Field and some other fields at Hunter Park, and Jesse Davis changed all the locks. And we have cameras, but he's going to have more cameras installed, and at budget time request more cameras for Fowler Field and other parks in the city, so that we'll be able to see if someone comes in and vandalizes the field. So that's what happened, and those are the measures that he's taken so far to try to secure the parks. But we do have other fields at Jesse Davis, Hunter, Fowler, and everywhere else, Willing Workers and Mill Village, that are open at all 24 hours a day for citizens to go to and use those facilities with their families.
Madam Mayor, if I recall correctly, in the past couple of years, we had the same thing happen at Jesse Davis. In the last couple of years,
This was my first time seeing that. I know we see the fields and we treat them and we do all of that. For someone just to go in and drive their car in the field is disappointing. It's disheartening. So we do have a secured fence now. We've changed the locks for those fields. And I apologize, I thought you all knew that. But I just wanted to bring that business because I knew that was transpired on email, but I wasn't aware that everyone didn't get that information. Any other business to come before council tonight? Thank you. Not seeing any, we'll go on to item 20. Our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Colonel Dotson. Chief Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Susan Littlefield.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief of Police, Chief Sparks, you had a promotion ceremony the other day, and
yes, we promoted two of our officers to corporal, corporal positions. And Wednesday at 10 o'clock, if any of you are able to come, we will be having our chat with the chief at Martin's on Fairman Road. So come by and get a biscuit, and
oh my goodness,
have any concerns, come by and.
You buying?
I got you. I got you. You guys come by, I got you.
Yes, sir. Martin's is really good.
And then on March the 8th, from 7 to 8, we're going to start our empowerment meetings at the Community House of Hope on Hollis Street from 7 to 8. So if you all want to come by, 1 hour, we're going to start having some empowerment training and different type training for the community. So we hope to see you there. We may have some donuts and something there.
So the Hollis, the community home on Hollis Street, what type of Is it the GED training? What is it again, Chief?
No, this is going to be something started by the police department. We're going to start implementing educational training to that section of the community concerning building up the community and doing things that help the people in the community, so far as education, obtaining GEDs. But the first night is going to be like community enrichment training.
Okay.
So, it's going to be an ongoing process. It's not just going to be, a one-time event. So we planning on doing this like every other Thursday night. So we hope we start up and get a big crowd,
And it's from 7 to 8 on March 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chief. We appreciate everything that you're doing to make us one with the community. We'll move on to our city manager, Ms. Marcia Hampton.
No report.
All right, thank you. Now is the time, comments from citizens and delegates. If anyone has endured our council meeting and you'd like to come and greet the mayor, myself, and the council, we'd love to hear from you. So if you have any comments, please come to the podium, give your name and address for the record, and the floor is open. Okay, we don't see any. Staff reports.
I did have Ms. Kelly Hunter. She may be, okay, there she is. I didn't see her. She wanted to make an announcement to you all tonight.
Hello, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Wanted to let you know that we have been working with Rick Martin and the county to put together a celebration for Miss Alana Myers Taylor. And so I want to let you know that we have that set and planned for next Monday evening, the 12th, at Arbor Place Mall. The program itself will begin at 6 p.m. and we hope to keep that a brief program where the mayor will be presenting a key to the city. Madam Chair will be doing a proclamation and allowing Alana some comments to address the audience as well. And then from there, we'll take her down to a storefront area down by Sears, and she is very graciously going to be signing autographs. I think if you were part of the event 4 years ago, she stayed a very long time addressing her fans and the supporters from the community. So we're doing that for her as well. There is another part of the program that is a special private meet and greet for the elected officials. So our city council as well as our Board of Commissioners, and that will take place at 5:30. And it will be in that same storefront area down by Sears. So if you'll be there at 5:30, we'll do a short meet and greet with her, a short press conference for any of the local press that are there, and then the event at 6 o'clock, and autographs taking place thereafter.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Who do we RSVP to? The city manager or to yourself?
I will be getting you out in your email tomorrow and an invitation to let you know on that. And then it'll come back to me as well.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Ms. Hunter? Thank you so much, Ms. Hunter. We appreciate that. That's an exciting staff report. Okay, now we're down to our executive session, and we have any?
Make a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss a personnel matter and property acquisition.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been properly moved and second to adjourn into executive session to discuss personnel matter and property acquisition. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. We are adjourned into executive session. We'll take a 5-minute recess and then come back into executive session.